Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. Today we will discuss about researching literature in language education. And now I will explain about what is research and what are methods that used in researching literature in language education. An orientation is intended here to refer to basic understanding of what knowledge and understanding are, and how research can advance our understanding. The two general orientations that relevant to applied in linguistic and educational research are qualitative research and action research. So, what is research? Research is a broad idea with many manifestations, so generally aiming at better understanding of some phenomenon. Then, what is qualitative research? Qualitative research, sometimes known as naturalistic research, may be understood broadly to refer to an interest in nuances and detail of particular individual cases and situations. And action research. What is action research? Action research is a research that involves participant values of participant perspective and accept the importance of local circumstances and context, which an outside researcher can never be as aware of or aware in the same way. Here are some of the methods used in researching literature in language education. 1. Experimental research. 2. Protocol. 3. Survey research. 4. Case study. And the last 5. Ethnography study.
What is experimental research? Experimental research is an experimental method of finding causal links between one or more variables, free variable on the other bound variable, or influence between the first variable and the second. The purpose of the experimental research is 6. To determine a relationship between the variable, to dependent variable, and independent variable. After completing an experimental research study, a correlation between a specific aspect or an entity and the variable being studied is either supported or rejected. Experimental research is difficult for most people because to carry out the study requires very strict control. They also usually sacrifice the ecological validity of what constitutes a major reason for qualitative research. For example, in order to test the effect of a new drug to treat a certain medical condition like dementia, if a sample of dementia patients is randomly divided into 3 groups, with the 4 groups receiving a high dosage of the drug, the second group receiving a low dosage, and the third group receiving a place such as a sugar pill. Then the first 2 groups are experimental group, and the third is a control group. After determining the drug for a period of time, if the condition of the experimental group subject improve significantly more than the control group subject, we can say that the drug is effective. We can also compare the condition of the high and low dosage experimental group to determine if the high dose is more effective than low dose.
The first, protocol. It is most of research methods described with qualitative example. An important exceptions or partial exception is the use of verbal protocols, think out louds, or TOLS, or sometimes less direct and direct methods to investigate individual reading process and strategies. This method arguably use unnatural means or interventions, but to access more ecological and valid mental process. There are also those who argue that individual difference in this process highlighted are qualitative interests. For example, using protocols to research the literary understanding of L1. However, the protocol is not very naturalistic. They border on qualitative but are taken from the usual context. Hard-thinking subjects would do rather strain things for the benefit of investigators. And the last, survey research. Survey research is research used to find out relatively factual information about a situation. In survey research, the result of the numbers and statistics seems inviolable. In other words, the results are more accurate. Survey research is usually also conducted by the government, while the form of survey research in researching in the form of questions relate to attitude and motivation. For example, what books are being read, how, by whom, how many hours is a teacher's preparation course devoted to literature or preparation for teaching literature to others. Surveys can inform policy making and planning decisions, allocate research, including time and money, and to inform daily teaching decisions. Usually in this implementation, such research will include the collection and research of documents such as schedules, syllabus, and reading lists, interview with participants and stakeholders such as our students and teachers, college heads or ministry education officials and questionnaires.
Case study is a research method in social science. In research using this method, an in-depth longitudinal examination of a situation, or even known as a case, is carried out using systematic method of observing, collecting data, analyzing information, and reporting the result. As a result, you will gain a deeper understanding of why something happened and came from the basic of for further research. Case study can be used to generate and test hypotheses. As usual, data collection in qualitative research, case study data can be obtained from all parties concerned, either through interview, observation, participation, and documentation. The data obtained from various ways are essentially complementary. In researching literature in language education, case study can be used for longitudinal research. And then I will also tell you about ethnographic study. Ethnographic study is a type of research method that is applied to reveal socio-cultural meanings by studying the life pattern and interaction of certain socio-cultural groups in a specific space or context. Ethnographic studies tend to look at patterns that exist in the socio-cultural group study. These patterns include patterns of behavior, belief system, language, and cultural values that exist in everyday life. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
In here, I want to talk you about general consideration. General consideration intend to help design and implement research project in literature in language education. Several possible methods are used to find source of information in qualitative action research. First, observation. Observation is an activity of observing an object directly and in detail in order to find information about a particular object. Second, interview. Interview is the process of obtaining information for research and answer between the interview and the respondent or the person being interviewed. Third, analysis of the text or document. Documents are written for the use and specific people. Sometimes some variable and conflict and analysis is needed to identify this as closely as possible to know the history of the document creation. Next, some possible project to research literature in language education. Here are some suggestions that might interest the LLE research community along with their research ideas and method. Project topics. First, syllabus, testing or assessment. Second, literature lesson. Third, case studies like culture. Fourth, read literary work. 5. Attitude towards literature. 6. Literacy as a social practice. How to collect data? First, textual analysis document. Second, observation. Third, observation, interview, and journal. Fourth, protocol study. 5. Questionnaire survey and interview. 6. Ethnography or participant observation, interview, and other triangulation. Sorry for my mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.